Shalom, shalom. All praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahwashai, Ba'asham Rachak Kodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone who rule well, pushing this 100% truth of the gospel, waking up and sealing the elect of the nation of Israel through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahwashai. And salutations to your sincere alchemists that are pushing this gospel in all righteousness and in all sincerity, risking your lives and your freedom to do so. Right, this is your brother Abawan, and what I wanted to go into today was this new stimulus that's going on. This new bill, the stimulus check that Joe Biden just signed recently, and I know that this happened like a day or two ago, and I couldn't report it, I couldn't make a video about it on that time. That's my bad. So I'm going to do a video on it right now. So when I was watching the news about it, see on CNN, of course, I was in the bank and they were showing it on the television in the bank, so I was watching the news about it. 1.9 trillion, and the first thought that came to my mind was, where is this money coming from? Okay, I know that I know where is this money coming from. How are you getting this money? Isn't Babylon in debt? And you look up the debt of Babylon, you look up how much in debt by Babylon is, and it is 28 trillion, I believe. There's an actual website out there I just devoted to watching the debts of America, watching America's debts, and right now it's clocked at 28 trillion, which of course it's a very huge amount, $28 trillion. So how are you going to get out of that debt? And now you're releasing another 1.9 trillion into the economy now to quote unquote relief, for this, for the infection that is currently going through right now. I don't want to really speak about that too much because you already know what Esau is doing about the videos that the brothers are bringing out concerning anything that doesn't go along the line of their new world order, or their NWO. Or basically, basically that was the only thing I was thinking about. Okay, where is this money coming from? And how these simple ass people out here, these simple things, will think that this is a good thing, that the government is about to give us a stimulus check, you're going to get paid, you're going to go and cash in your stimulus check and all that. But this is what I will do. What I will do is that I will get the definition of the word inflation, and I'm not going to get it on this form because I don't really want to bring out anything that would make Esau take down this video and flag my backup channel. I'm trying to keep it clean as much as possible because you already know where Esau is at with this, with his business, and I'm just keep it. And I should be saying you already know where he is at with his business. But anyway, this is the definition of the word inflation, and it reads: in economics, inflation is a general rise in the price level in an economy over a period of time. When the general price level rises, each unit of currency buys fewer goods and services. Consequently, inflation reflects a reduction in the purchasing power per unit of money, a loss of real value in the medium of exchange and unit of account within the economy. So basically, what it's speaking about is the prices go up and the worth of the currency goes down, and the only reason why you are having inflation, the only reason why this inflation suddenly exists is because you took the dollar, you took all currency out of the gold standard. Now the currency now they have no value. Basically, all these currencies are out here fiat currency, and if you go back to the word fiat, it basically means what? Let this serve as, let this take the place of money. And that's why you're having inflation, because now you are basically printing out paper that is worth less than what people actually take it to be. $100 bill is worth less than a $5 than 5 cents, but because they put 100 on that bill and because they use a special ink and all that, people now think that it's worth that much value, but it is not in actuality. And that's why you're having inflation. That's why you're having ridiculous and exuberant amounts in debt. 27 trillion. Come on, man. Right, continuing on. The opposite of inflation is deflation, a sustained decrease in the general price level of goods and services. The common measure of inflation is the inflation rate, the annualized percentage change in a general price index usually the consumer price index over time. Economists believe that very high rates of inflation and hyperinflation are harmful. Yeah, no shit. Okay, and are caused by an expensive growth of the money supply. That is basically what is going to happen when this one, when this stimulus checks goes out. You're going to have that's basically what it is. You're going to have an increase in the supply of money, in the money that is going out, the money that is going around the whole nation. 1.9 trillion is just about to be released into the economy out of nowhere. Where did this 1.9 trillion come from? What goods did you have to trade in order to get this 1.9 trillion? You literally, the country literally did nothing and go 1.9 trillion out of it. Do you know how ridiculous the price hike is going to be from that? And even a brother mentioned it in one of his videos. It's like I've forgotten the exact brother that I watched. I believe it's I don't want to mention any names, I'm not sure, but basically, shout out to that brother. He did an excellent video concerning this whole relief thing, concerning this whole relief package that Easter is bringing out. And you should go out and watch that video if I can remember the brother's name. But basically, that is what is going to happen, man. A huge, the inflation, price hikes, everything is just going to go shoot up, just like it did, the first time. And then you're going to see the price of gold go even higher than it is right now, $30,000, I believe. And the price of silver go up, Bitcoin go up, everything just go up except the dollar. And this, I know it makes you think about, it makes you think what Esau is thinking, and what he is thinking about doing this, because Babylon is already in a huge debt, and now they're even deepening their situation. And this is how you know that this kingdom is done, man. This is how you know that it's about to be finished, okay? That this place is through. Alright, so you have hundreds of thousands of people filing unemployment on a weekly basis, okay? And not to mention the what times 3 times 4 of that amount not even bothering to file for unemployment, because that's how Esau works. The only people that he counts as unemployed are the ones that are actively filing unemployment or actively seeking jobs, while the unemployed people are living on welfare or living on food stamps or living on this stimulus as it is. Esau won't count them, so you probably have even more than the official number of unemployed people in Babylon. So now you have a kingdom that literally, a kingdom or a nation that literally produces nothing, because America is the top consuming nation, okay? They can only consume and they produce nothing. Okay, does not even make full use of its own workforce, because you see what they do. They outsource, they make, they produce in other companies like China, like India, where it is cheaper to manufacture, and then they import into their own nation, and all they do is buy, purchase, spend money. This, Babylon is not even making any money anymore, okay? And this nation, because of what? Because of that outsourcing, because of how expensive it is to produce things in Babylon compared to other nations, which of course, if you really want to get into it, it's not really that expensive, but just because of Esau's greediness, okay? Just because of Esau's greed, he wants to make as much money as possible. So even the little that even the little extra that he has to pay to produce in his own nation, he refuses to do that. So he outsources to these poor nations, and they basically cheats them there. And you saw what was happening in Apple stores, with the suicide nets. And you know what is going on with Amazon. All these big companies, all these billion-dollar companies that abuse their employees, basically. And only, and that's just speaking about what's going on in Babylon and in China and all these developed nations. Not to talk about the ones that they have in these third world countries, okay? And so also, if you look at it this way, in reality, there is no way that this debt, okay, this $28 trillion debt can be paid, because because you have a giant debt that you owe, and you keep borrowing money. That's the damn thing right there, okay? You cannot produce, you cannot make enough money to sustain the nation, so they have to keep on borrowing money in order to, they have to keep on borrowing money in order to keep the nation, in order to keep Babylon afloat, and that will not last forever, okay? This is why the FED took the gold standard. This is why majority of the gold right now is owned by the international bankers, okay? That's why majority of the gold is locked up, can't be used commercially. So you couldn't dig yourself out of these debts. And now let me get a preset, the preset that actually inspired, the preset that was the first preset I thought about when I saw that news article. 1.9 trillion stimulus check. And you see the book of Habakkuk 2 verse 6, and it reads, shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which was not his, how long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay. Alright, so you took a land that was not yours, and you built up and developed the land with labor that was not yours, because we know that Esau did not put a hand in developing Babylon. Okay, it was our own people, Israelites, Judah, Benjamin, and Judah mostly, but also the northern kingdom as well. That they built up the whole nation, the White House, all the monuments that you see was all done by Israelites. And Esau just what took it over and said that this was his land, said that this was his buildings, this was his cities, basically, when they were all built by Jake. Okay, and now he has laden himself with thick clay, in other words, with debts. And this is what you have, with these international bankers. This is what you have with these elites. This is how these elites have taken over all these nations, by controlling their money, putting them in crippling debts. And this whole kingdom, okay, this whole kingdom is built on debt. And then they encourage these nations to take out more loans, okay, to borrow more, and to put themselves in even more debt. And now you have a large sum of money that cannot be paid, because you literally owe the people that are making your money. So how do you pay them back? And in the famous words of G. Edward Griffin, when a man, when material desires, or when a man has more money, has more wealth than he could, that he could possibly use in an entire lifetime, what more could he possibly want than control over other humans? So that is how these nations are going to pay for their debt. They're going to repay Esau through being pawns for them, through having them on a string. That's what you see with Biden. He's a perfect puppet for the elites, for the elite banking families. And that's what you see with all these other nations, with all the leaders of all these other nations. They are all puppets, okay? No matter which nation that they belong to, they are all puppets, which is why they are going wholeheartedly, okay? They are fulfilling the agenda of this, they are following the agenda wholeheartedly, okay? Fully the agenda of this NWO, of this great reset, okay? That's why you see them, following all of Esau's decrees to the letter. They won't really go into detail on that, because the current atmosphere that we're living in, or censorship, since YouTube is getting ready, is on the patrol right now. I just want to keep it a little bit clean, But anyway, what I was saying that, but anyway, continuing on, this is how you can see how these devils have control of the whole earth. Because what did I believe that is David Rockefeller, what did he say? Give me control of a nation's money, and I care not who is, and I care not who rules over it. Basically that, no matter what man you put, or what person you appoint as leader, at the end of the day, they will all still answer to the international bankers, because they are not, because these leaders are not elected, they are selected, okay? The perfect pawn to fulfill this, the agenda of Esau, the perfect pawn to fulfill this new world order. And that's how you know that this world has been totally given to these devils, because you see them playing God on it, to their heart's content. And you heathen, okay, you other nations, you better start thinking about how you pack your shit and get out of Babylon, man, because that place is through. Okay, you know what the scripture says? That is in the book of Jeremiah. That Babylon is destroyed. How for her? Take balm for her pain. She could have been healed, but she is not healed. It's already too late. It's beyond it has gone past the breaking point, past the point of no return. At this point, Babylon is about to erupt. But what they're doing is they are putting ice plugs, on the volcano that's about to erupt. And when the ice melts, they put another one. When the ice melts, they put another one. It's volatile, and they are running out of ice, because here you have, you standing in front of a volcano with ice plugs, and you know that the residual heat that's going to come out of that volcano will melt the remaining ice plugs, man. So this place is already done, and pretty soon it's going to melt and blow up in a huge way, and going to take it's going to be about to blow up in a huge way, okay? And that's that's basically it. Babylon is finished. Let me get that. It's taking over the nuclear destruction, but I think there is still And speaking about the nuclear destruction, but I think I should still get it. Here it is, Revelation 18 verse 2. And of course it's talking about, at the end, after the nukes hit and Babylon is completely destroyed. But you can also use it in this case, because that kingdom, okay, the US, the United States as you know it, America as you know it, is through. So this is the book of Revelation 18 verse 2, and it reads, "And he cried bitterly with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird." So with that, I'd like to end it right there. I give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Bahasham Rachak Wadash, and through the spirit of you Akem and you Aquas were edified. Shalom.